Hey guys, it's me, Amy, from A Taylor AI1. I just got home. I was over by the culinary college, and there's a Walgreens right by there. Now, I don't shop there a lot. I shop there maybe once every other week, or very rarely it will be even once a week. I mean, I have another Walgreens close to my house, and it's my favorite Walgreens because they're coupon friendly most of the time, except for maybe one manager. But you know, the issue on this one, I'm sorry if this ends up being a little bit longer than it should be, is, you know, tell me if I'm the only person that does this, but you know, I read people. You can kind of tell by how they stand, the expression on their face before they even see you. I mean, they don't, you know, see you first, and you can kind of see them and kind of go, oh crap, they're in a freaking bad mood today, you know, and you don't know the person or anything. It's just like you can kind of tell by body language and expression on their face when you see them that, you know, they're not having a good day, they're in a bad mood, they're irritated, they're frustrated, whatever their outgoing deal is, you know, outside of whatever they're supposed to be doing, they're not in a good mood. And there's this one cashier at this Walgreens over by the college that if she's in a good mood, she loves coupons. And I've talked about her in a previous video before. And if she's not in a good mood, she can be basically, excuse my language, pardon anyone who takes offense, she can be hell on wheels. I walked in today and she wasn't even at her register in the makeup counter, when I first walked in. So I did my first purchase of the Listerine. This did not really work that well for me. This started off my bad time. You know, my morning went pretty good until this point. I bought the Listerine. It was actually $3.14. It printed out the first coupon, and she took it and scanned the $2 off. And so my subtotal ended up being $1.14 for the Listerine, and then it printed out a second coupon, which was this one here. Then the manager happened to come over and during the transaction and informed her and me that they don't allow you you can't use the first coupon that prints in the beginning of the transaction on this transaction. That is not allowed at this Walgreens. So I said, that's fine. My son wanted this. He actually all my boys and myself, we do the no alcohol mouthwash. So they wanted it, you know. So anyways, $1.14 for it isn't bad, and I have another $2 off. This $2 off here that I'll just go to my regular Walgreens and use it this week if they have any left. So I don't know if I bought the wrong one. I guess Priscilla with Pinch and Pennies 2011. Maybe you'll have to tell me, or if any of you other ones, if any of y'all know, let me know. But anyways, I was told that you couldn't do that. So I said, okay, that was fine. So I went ahead and kept it just because, you know, we needed it. Then I tried the Huggies. That was the second transaction. You see no Huggies because I went ahead and got my money back for that because it didn't print out the reward. So then I went ahead and did the Ultimate Flora. Now everyone talks about the $3 coupons. I had a $2 printable off of any Flora, Ultimate Flora. So I used that. So it was $10 minus the 2. And this was at the makeup counter at this point. Okay, so I moved from the front counter. She finally came back. I don't know what she was doing, but she finally came back to the makeup counter. And so I did that. And I could tell she was irritated. She was just not in a good mood at all. And so I paid, subtotal was $8 on that, and I got the $10 reward. And so the second transaction, I bought the biscuits, which Stevie, as y'all know from the other video, he likes the blueberry, so I got the blueberry ones. They do taste pretty good. They don't taste like cardboard, at least. I got the biscuits, and I got the on-to-go, and then I got a filler item of these, which were $1.39. And the reason being was that I had the $10 from the Flora, so this was $8. This was 8, 9, 10, 11, and then minus the dollar made it 10, but the register, it just wouldn't take, it would not take the 10, it kept beeping, and she was really getting irritated at this point. So at the point that she was getting that irritated with me, or with, I would say with me, but she was just not in a good mood, I went ahead and got these and paid for those, so I paid $1.38. Which is basically paying for these. And then the last transaction was the Burts Bees, which is on sale for $1.99 with a $1.99 back. And which is, well, they round it to 2. Sorry, that's the cookie one. They round it to 2. And this, at this point, she was so frustrated with me that the manager had to come over because the system was beeping with the last transaction, so he had to come over to try to figure out what the problem was, and basically she stormed off at that point. And so anyways, I still had a lot of items in the cart because I was going to roll everything between the items because I really want to get some more of these biscuits, and I wanted really to try for the Listerine again, even though that didn't ring up quite the way I thought it would, and the on-to-go drink mix. And I wanted to get the melatonin, that's how you say it, the melatonin, which is the sleep stuff, because I have trouble sleeping. And it works pretty well. Non-addictive, you know, all that stuff. So anyways, so I still had the other items in the cart, and basically she left, and she didn't leave, she stormed. So anyways, to make this rant a little bit smaller here, the manager took care of this last item, which was the Burts Bees, and I was so upset myself that she was having such a problem. I don't know why I let her decide how I felt, because you shouldn't do that. You can read people and know that they're in a bad mood or a good mood, but you shouldn't let their mood affect you, even if they're cashiers. I mean, you gotta be nice, you know, at least, you know, I always try to be nice myself, but, you know, I was already upset that I actually paid full price for this. I did not, I meant to use the $2 coupon, this one, to pay for the throat drops, and then I had a filler that was sitting there at the point that this happened, and I went ahead and paid for the transaction, which was $2.17, or $1.99 subtotal, $2.17 with tax. I just paid it, and he was like, well, what's the matter? And I said, you know what, she's in a really bad mood. And he said, yeah, she is. And I said, you know, never mind. I just put everything up on the counter. And he's like, well, what transaction you want to do next? I said, none. I said, you know what, I've had my own long day. I have my own problems, my own stressors. I'm dealing with my own crap. I don't need her crap. And as far as I feel at this point, this is just too much for me at this point in time. And so I just shoved everything up onto the counter, grabbed my bags, and I left. So you guys let me know. Have you ever felt that way? I mean, really? I mean, just someone else's attitude, and especially a cashier that you see once in a while that you kind of know. Does it ever frustrate you? So I just wasn't in the mood. Alright guys, live, love, and eat. Bye.